first of all, fondly, by Colin Winnette. Everybody read it. It's so good. So I was just super conventional in what I was inspired by. I just was straight up like, hey, first novella, I'm going to steal that format. And then also the other thing I was inspired by is something that Colin and I are both interested in. Something or someone. To begin. In one story, the sisters are a sentient spaceship and a 1960s new wave science fiction writer who has issues with women. The science fiction writer is smoking. The science fiction writer is drinking something from a highball glass, poised to cut out the middleman and go straight to bottle. The science fiction writer is working on his 27th book, while his third wife washes dishes aggressively. Each clatter and clash is a threat aimed directly at his manhood, most likely only figuratively. The kitchen is right off his office, and she makes all that noise knowing he is 38 days past deadline. She knows he needs this. She knows. But who knows, as his wife feedback loops herself deeper into a rage. Maybe she'll allow herself to smash a glass, and once having done so, find it easy to run the 4 or so steps to his room, leap one bound toward him at his little desk, sweep her arm in the half arc it would take to cut it off, and he would say, "Thank you." Yes, at this point, "Thank you." His little desk is right next to the radiator. At first he complained, but he realized the ersatz fever induced by the heat aided his work, sunk him into a sweaty, schizoid trance from which he emerged exhausted and utterly unable to have sex for 2 or 3 days. But always before with a finished book. At the time the science fiction writer is writing his 27th book, we have been to space. But the science fiction writer does not believe that space is a place for humans. It is his firm belief that humans are too weak for space. This is why the ship is the hero of this book. It is a sentient spaceship named the Little Sister, after Chandler. 3 of the science fiction writer's 27 books have been crime novels, though they didn't do well enough to justify his continuing the series, much to his disappointment. He would have liked to have been that kind of writer. The Little Sister is everything the humans in the book are not. The Little Sister is brave, logical, and sexless. Maybe that's why he's blocked. He's accustomed to writing a lot of grimy sex to make page count. The publishers like it, the readers love it, and it imparts a thinly plotted narratives of men going mad in space with a literary heft. Oh, to be literary. To have written a 9th of the book for 9,000 times the acclaim and at least 3 times the chicks. Aside from our hero, the Little Sister, the science fiction writer is not sure who or what the anything else of the book will be. He's already killed off all of the humans by page 12. It usually takes him longer. The Little Sister has fallen through a black hole. Engine's dead. She plummets through space like a human, like a lost astronaut. But she does not wail. She doesn't even breathe. Little Sister! Little Sister is braver than flesh and better than all of us. The science fiction writer wipes his face with the back of his hand, still clawed around the bottle. He sobs. Ship, when did it all change? When did I stop believing in science fiction? And more importantly, when did I stop being able to write it? The Little Sister stops her fall. She freezes in place, then tilts toward the science fiction writer. Spaceships don't have faces, though. You always do this, the Little Sister says. You forget, and I tell you, and you forget, and I tell you. You demand a full, yet brief and easy to understand explanation in accordance with the literature you've been consuming. It's getting old, sis. We starships are gestated and birthed. I myself was born with a parasitic twin. That twin is you. The rest of it you know, so please snap out of it. If we're falling together, we must be brave together. The science fiction writer stands and reaches for the wall. No longer can he hear his wife aggressing at him from the kitchen. He prepares his face for a scream and presses both hands to the radiator. Nothing happens, except that the radiator darkens to the color of his skin and melts into his body. The science fiction writer no longer has a throat, a nebula award, a bad back, or a penis, but he still attempts to speak. Why do they call you the Little Sister? Kind of just a family joke. That's not funny, says the science fiction writer. This is hard for me most of all. I'm always the burden. You're the perfect self-sacrificing one. And now we're trapped in this black hole and all the people died, so you're always around. I never get to forget you're here. You're the one who woke me up. I couldn't help it, says the little sister. You were talking to me. We've been falling for so long, says the science fiction writer. I miss Mother. By this point, the science fiction writer is a blob, lodged in the belly of the ship. I know, she says. It's hard for the little sister to be strong for both of them. The people inside of her aged and died. She knows her mother must be roaming the universe in search of them. She does not know if they'll ever emerge, or if they do, where or when it will be. But the little sister says nothing and hugs big sister, flexing around her tightly. And so the big sister keeps falling, falls with little sister, sleeps and remembers and forgets, and little sister always tells her again, tells her, you forget, and I tell you, and you forget, and I tell you. Because that's what sisters do.